Alright guys, I've had a few requests recently to build loadouts around the $600 mark, so what I've decided to do today is just build what I think is the perfect $600 loadout, which does include a knife and glove combo, which you can see here. We're going to be going for field test Moto Gloves polygons. Now I know we have a whole conversation to be had around Moto Gloves, but for the value for money at this budget, I think they're perfect. And then I go for a Huntsman Breakwater in factory new. It means we're spending about $317 on the combo, which is pretty much half of the budget, but then it gives us $300 to spend on all of the key weapon skins, which is super nice. Now, before we look at agents and the rest of the skins, let me tell you about today's sponsor. Now guys, if you're looking for a place to buy or sell your skins, then you should check out Skinland. Selling skins is super easy. Once you set your trade link, you can head over to Sell Skins and pick which skins you want to sell. During this, if you use code FOZZY during sign up, you will get a $10 bonus if you sell $100 of skins. You can see as I add items to sell, it tracks the value and the level of bonus being activated. Then click the preferred payment method, confirm trade, and get your money.
Show me the money.
One of the big benefits of using Skinland to buy skins is that the prices are considerably cheaper compared to the Steam market, meaning you get more value for money when building your loadouts. It's easy to deposit with a bunch of payment methods, and with Counter-Strike legend himself Fallen choosing Skinland, you know it's a great place to buy and sell your CS2 skins. Thanks to Skinland for sponsoring the video. And then agent-wise, okay, I didn't want to spend too much here because the prices are still all over the place, but CT, I went for Lieutenant Rex Crikey, Sealed Frogman, by $14, and the main thing for this is he is sleeveless, so there's not going to be any clash with it, and it looks pretty clean. Then I did want sleeveless as well for T, but I wanted to change it up a little bit, so $14 basically for this as well, but you can get Crasswater the Forgotten. Now he is got scars on him, he's got tattoos, he's got like, the fake eye. Like when you look at him from like this perspective, super unique, sort of crazy looking character, but whenever you're actually just playing in game, this is what you'll be seeing from your side. And with all this, you might be able to tell that we are leaning into a blue theme based on the combo. So kicking off with the USP, I ended up going for a monster mashup, which is $26 in minimal wear. I actually considered going for the Jawbreaker here because it has that bit of blue, but what I then decided was let's go for the best like S tier level skins we can. Jawbreaker's definitely great, but monster mashup, a bit more value to it, might hold value better long term, that kind of thing. Just really nice pick, and I think it works great with the polygons. For the Glock, I have an asterisk on it because I've actually picked the new Axia, and it wouldn't necessarily be my personal pick, but I know a lot of people like it, so I wanted to include it here as the option. Now, pricing at the time of planning, 29th of October, was around the $38 mark, around the $40 mark, that kind of thing. I went to 40 for it. It is subject to change and most likely to go down. Personally, for me, I would look at like Off-Worlds, Winterize, that kind of thing instead. They're all under $1 and it frees up some budget elsewhere. But if you were wanting like the most flashy option, when you compare this to the Twilight Galaxy, it's like 5 times cheaper. So that's where the Axia has some value. Then, Desert Eagle-wise, we have the perfect pairing, in my opinion, here. We have a Cobalt Disruption, which is about $75 for factory new. It is incredibly clean skin. Obviously, it got that huge upgrade in CS2 last year. And you can just see, I think it's like the geometric sort of patterns we have on the gloves, and then with the pattern on the Cobalt Disruption, they end up just pairing together so well. And as I say, you can see I've ended up with a blue loadout here. When I was theory crafting this, I did have another couple of colors in mind. We theory crafted red, orange, and also green. But as I went through it, one of my main focuses was, as I say, getting like S tier skins, or the highest tier skins possible on the main weapon skins. And blue just gave us the best options. Now, the AK, you could go for the Empress, like I have mine here, but I've actually went for another option that I think is a little bit nicer for how it pairs into the gloves, and it's going to be the Inheritance, but it is going to be in Battle Scarred, which is around the $70 mark. Now, I have one in Battle Scarred myself with a nice older, I say older, 2019 craft on it with some golds, but Battle Scarred, I like this. It starts getting little chips into it, which is like gold accents. You can see this is a 0.7 float, just for some context, but overall, I think this is really nice, and there's a lot of craft potential with the Inheritance. Overall, it's just a super sick skin. I would like to think you guys were able to tell my M1S Pick was going to be a nightmare. This is like always my go-to with these sort of budgets around this price for blue, but yeah, I think $16.50 for this in minimal wear is incredibly good. It still has small little marks coming through, but overall, it's pretty clean. I've always referred to this as like the budget Icarus Fell in regards to like the color and the style, so I still think under $20 for this, value for money is fantastic. And speaking of value for money, the Emperor is a great pick, and this is actually a field test version 0.2 float. just to give you some idea. So price basically triples if you wanted to go minimal wear, but if you go low float field test it, the only real noticeable thing you're going to see is the magazine starts to get some wear. So I think $10 for field test Emperor, if you're just wanting to like utilize the budget as best as possible, this is incredibly good. And hopefully this is helping explain what I mean here. Like, Monster Mashup is great, Inheritance is fantastic, both the Nightmare and the Emperor are amazing skins. Like, we're really pulling together some nice stuff here in this $600 budget, and it's all paired nicely with the gloves, which then pairs perfectly in with the Bright Water. Now, for the up, I ended up going for my old favourite budget pick with the Aetherius. Now, there's a little green on this, it's actually green detailing on the scope, but it is actually a blue base skin, and it's that blue base I quite like how it pairs in with the polygons. The other big reason for this is because it's just over $5 for minimal wear, right? Super nice pricing for this. If you're an opper and you wanted to spend a little bit more, or there's another op out there that you like, what I would say is take that $40 you spent on the Axia, spend half $1 on an off-world or a winterized, and then you basically got another $40 to add to your budget here. You got $45 to spend on an op of your choice. Over in the MP9, I went for the goo because there's not too much that really works. I could have tried a Mount Fuji, but at this point, these are the bonus skins where I don't want to be spending too much because, as I say, big budget focus towards the main skins. We do get to run one of the new skins. It is the pipsqueak. It's $1.30 for minimal wear. Really cool artwork where it's like the back of the head of the mouse into the front. The blue colour on it is also quite nice. If I'm being honest, Lapis Gator probably pairs best colour-wise here, but I just love the artwork style of this pipsqueak, and it's one of the new ones, so it's just fun to run. In the very similar vibe as the Monster Mashup, I have a See You Later here, which is $3.80 in minimal wear. So it may be more than you might want to spend. You might want to go down to Avalanche or something like that. But I think $3.80 for a See You Later is a super cool looking skin. And as I say, it's very similar to like the color scheme of that Monster Mashup. Then my new favorite pick for Joe Beretta definitely is coming through. It's going to be the Hydra Strikes, $2.30 for this in minimal wear. This is, I mean, it's not a perfect blue by any means. It's this light blue with this sort of darker blue into purple, but still, I think it holds up pretty well with the gloves. Not everything has to be a 100% perfect match. And artwork-wise, style-wise, I think they're flat out the best Joe Berettas in the game right now. If you do want close to perfect coloring, I think then the Monkey Business, shade-wise, is one of the best you're going to get. $2.23 here for field test it. You can see field test is 0.25 float. It still looks incredibly clean, so you don't really have to go any higher. One of my favorite picks for the Gale here is going to be the Stone Cold. Now, it comes in under $3 for minimal wear. It's one of the best skins, I think, in Counter-Strike in general for value for money. It's an incredibly clean skin. The accents work together really nicely. I just love rocking this, and I do find you buy Gale a lot more at the minute, just how the economy sits, how the changes the rounds are in CS, so I think it's worth having a nice Gale skin. For the Famous, I'm going to go for another new skin, but it's going to be the Halftone Wash, which is a pattern-based skin. So while it's minimal wear for 26 cents, which is super nice and low, it is pattern-based. The patterns and the waves and like the splashing the wash of the waves is the best way I can say it, is all going to change. So just check all the patterns before you want to buy it. But either way, you're looking definitely under $50 to get something really cool here, and you can just find a pattern that works for you. With already having an Emperor in the loadout, I thought it made sense to double down and go for the Justice here. Like, the artwork is incredibly similar. I'm pretty sure it's made by the same artist. That's why it sort of came from the same concept, and it is super cool. It is $4, maybe a little bit much for a Mag 7 for you, but I do think it is flat out the best choice here. Now, the only souvenir skin I'm going to suggest is the Vari Camel Blue XM. Now, souvenir minimal wear for this is going to run you about 75 cents. Now, I have picked up a version here with no stickers on it just to show it's like if you wanted to scrape it. The blues aren't a perfect pair by any means, but I don't think there's any XM that got that true perfect pairing. So I was happy just to run with this because I actually quite like this skin for the price you're paying. On the Tech 9 side of things, if you want a perfect color pairing, go for the Ice Cap. Find the pattern that works for you. I say perfect, it's going to be a lot closer than the Avalanche is, but the Ice Cap only gets detailing on the top, whereas the Avalanche gets it on the trigger, at the back, on the magazine and stuff, which I really like for the Tech 9. I think you do a lot of damage with this weapon in the game. It's great for those T-side like Force buys or 2K buys, so get yourself a nice Tech 9. Avalanche is $2.50. Over in the AUG, you're probably not going to use it much, but the good news is for under $1, you can get essentially a perfect pairing for it. It's going to be the Aristocrat. Does the job nicely. I say you probably won't use it much, but just have it in the loadout ready to go. You get the joy of another pattern-based skin for the SG. It's going to be the Aloha. It's like 9 cents in minimal wear. I could have gone for an anodized navy for like $50. Would have been better color pairing-wise, but it's very bland, very boring. I love that the Aloha gets like scope design, like the patterns everywhere. And as I say, there's different patterns where it'll have more blue than purple in different areas. And then finally, I think we end it off with what is probably the best scout option. It's going to be a minimal wear Abyss. And again, I know this looks super cool in Battle Squad, but for the coloring we're going for here, I prefer this more true blue than I do that sort of like washed out cyan color that it starts to get in Battlescarred. And that rounds off the loadout. Now, I do have an alternative for the knife, which I'll show in a second, but overall price-wise for this comes in at $609.97. So basically, $610. I always apply a 5 to 10% buffer here, which would have been $30 to $60, so we're well under that. As I say, the combo's $317, basically bang on the middle, like, which is really nice sort of split that you want to do. And you get, honestly, some super nice skins through this, which for me, it's just super nice to be able to showcase that, yes, $600 is a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of Counter-Strike loadouts, this is a cheap loadout that is essentially complete, and maybe the only thing you want to do is a knife upgrade to like a Phase 3 Doppler down the line. Now, one of the knives I know people like to pair with polygons is the blue steel. You can see why when you're looking at it here. The color of the knuckles almost matches perfectly in with the blade. It's about $200 for this knife, according to what I've just checked. So it is a good chunk higher than the bright water. So if you had that bit extra to spend and you actually didn't like the bright water that much, but you do like the blue steel, obviously you could go for that. And then your long-term upgrade, as I just kind of alluded to, would be the likes of a Phase 3 normal Doppler. Now, this is like $330. This is a significant upgrade, but Phase 3 is like the most blue of these Dopplers, and I went Huntsman for all of them just to try and keep it consistent on what pricing I'm getting for the knife. But that's kind of like the upgrade pass for that you'd have. If you upgrade it to this knife, you're taking the loadout to about $800, which is still overall really good. But I am going to end my waffle there now, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, because as I say, I got a lot of requests for $600-ish loadouts, and obviously I then landed in on blue, so fingers crossed you like blue, because that is honestly what is the best to build the perfect $600 loadout. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button if you're around here. We're making that push to 7,000 subscribers, and then finally that big thank you to the YouTube members that continue to support the channel. It is greatly appreciated, and if you want to become a YouTube member and get some of those good perks, you can find out more by hitting that join button down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.